We'll kick off in this first module with an overview, a big picture of the international lottery industry. In this module, we'll discuss the differences between lotteries and various other forms of gambling. We'll discuss the various business models that lotteries across the world have embraced in order to execute their functions. And we'll also have a brief discussion of the impact that the current economic challenges across the globe are posing for lottery operations. The classic dictionary definition of a lottery is a game designed to raise money by selling lottery tickets that people buy, hoping that their numbers are chosen by chance in a draw so that they win a prize. The differences between lottery and other forms of gaming come down to two key elements. One is chance. A lottery must involve an element of chance. No skill is involved in any type of lottery game. In contrast, casino or other forms of gaming often involve some element of skill that is associated with the wager. The other differentiating element that defines a lottery is that it is conducted by or for a state. Private casinos exist for private pecuniary purposes. Indian casinos or Native American casinos operate for the benefit of their particular tribe. But in lottery, the differentiator is a lottery is always operated either by or for the benefit of a sponsoring government. This slide presents a quick overview of the global context of the lottery industry. You see on the chart indicating that lottery is close behind casino operations worldwide in terms of overall impact from a revenue perspective. You see in the pie-shaped chart that in a relative perspective, Europe is the world's leading lottery market, with North America a close second. Various different types of business models have been deployed by various lotteries across the globe. The most prevalent model is a state-owned and operated model. You'll find these in Singapore, in China, and throughout North America. Under this model, the lottery is both owned by and operated by the state. State employees execute most, if not all, of the important operational functions of the lottery. State employees direct the merchandising and the marketing. State employees do the draw and the awarding of prizes. Basically, this is the traditional form of lottery operations. A variation on this model was embraced several years ago, predominantly in Europe, and that's a partially state-owned and operated model. In this case, the state retains a major ownership in the underlying entity which is operating the lottery, but there's also private investment involved in the enterprise. An example of this type of model would be FDJ in France or OPAP in Greece. This model affords somewhat more flexibility in terms of operations, not necessarily as constrained or restrained by state functions relative to hiring and firing employees, for instance. A third variation on the model is a state-regulated but privately operated model, in which the day-to-day operations is undertaken by a private business enterprise. Examples of this type of model are found in South Africa, Camelot, the operator of the UK National Lottery, and the state of Illinois under its recent private management agreement. In this type of model, the day-to-day operations of the lottery is undertaken by a private shareholder-driven company. These type of entities are able to hire and fire at will for the most part, and are basically better able to respond in a quick and efficient fashion to changes in the business climate than is the case with most traditional state-owned and operated lotteries. In the marketing context, the fact that the degree of state control is lessened is generally seen as a virtue. On the other hand, in the regulatory context, the fact that the state control is lessened sometimes presents a more serious risk in terms of ensuring that the public's benefit is always being served by the lottery operator. Various examples of public-run or privately run lotteries are found in the top lotteries in the world. In France, the public-private lottery operator produces $14.3 billion in sales. In the United States, the New York Lottery, which is a completely public lottery, produces about half that in sales, but in a population that is less than half that. So the argument is still to be resolved. What is the more effective and efficient operating model? A privately run lottery or a public-private partnership? Regardless of the particular model deployed in a particular jurisdiction, there are some key players that are found in just about every lottery jurisdiction across the globe. These are the lottery suppliers. The main lottery suppliers internationally are GTech Corporation and Scientific Games, which are two American-based companies, as well as Intralot, which is a Greek-based company, and a variety of smaller concerns which provide key supply-service relationships for operating lotteries across the globe. Increasingly, these lottery operators have broadened their reach and their scope to move beyond their areas of traditional technical expertise to afford lotteries services relating to marketing, merchandising, data analytics, and research as well.